Well, we're going to make this a short and sweet video. I've been thinking a lot about this family, in which I didn't catch this until the last few days. Thinking about this family, and I know this is representative of a lot of families across the country, so that's why I'm sharing this. Let me get this situated so I don't... Okay, there we go. Anyway, this is representative of a lot of families across the United States, probably across the world. But and I don't hate women. I'm just, for whatever reason, God has, through my classes at school, God has pretty much opened my eyes up to the dangers of feminism in the world, and in particular in church, and how it is influencing women all across the country and in churches, and they don't even really know it. People just don't realize how much they are being mentally and psychologically programmed by this doctrine that's evil from the devil. I mean, it started out as something good. Women did need equality, but now it's gone from equality into domineering and control of men. So there's this family where the mother had his son cornered and screaming and yelling at him, going over and over the same thing repeatedly. I mean, you say something once and that's it. You get your point across. When you keep going over and over something, it's no longer getting your point across. It's trying to verbally and psychologically beat someone into submission. And but I got to thinking about this. I got to talking about these things with someone in that family. He said that his mother did the same to him. And then I got to thinking about it, that let's see, there was the first mother, then there was her mother, then the mother's mother. She actually did the same thing to her son. And I think the mother's mother, basically the great grandmother, she did the same thing. And it's like this pattern of hostility and anger towards men. And I just got to thinking, because I've done genograms in class, and I got to thinking about this emotional connection and these emotional patterns that seem to follow each generation. I got thinking, I thought, well, my God, the women in this family are actually just doing exactly the same thing they saw their mothers do. Or their mothers did that to them. Because all three of these, or all four of these women, their mother actually treated their daughters like crap. And I'm not. I don't believe that our childhood should determine who we become and who we should be. Who we should be, who we are. It shouldn't determine our destiny. It does affect our life, though. There's no doubt about it. This environmental conditioning and all of this dysfunctional behavior, it does affect our lives. And there's no way to get around that, but God offers healing. However, God doesn't force people to become healed. When it comes to things like this, you actually have to be a willing participant of God wanting to heal, which requires people to think about, okay, this has been going on for 4 generations with women, and it could be just as easily as men, but like I said, for whatever reason, God's got me thinking about feminism and what's going on with women in the church and in the world. And somebody has to say, this has been going on for 4 generations, and on the women's side in this family, what is going on? The same exact behavior pattern. It's not a generational curse. but it is a behavior pattern that gets passed down from generation to generation. And I, I, I think personally in church, I think we need to learn how to do more genograms in church to avoid these kind of behavior patterns, or at least let God have a way to heal them. Because the thing about a genogram is that oftentimes it's hard for us to conceptualize 4 generations of behavior patterns and emotional, psychological abuses. But when we see it, it's hard to think about it in our mind. But when we see it on paper and see all the connections, it's this eye-opening experience that brings a lot of healing to people. So anyway, I just wanted to share some things God's teaching me. And I'm hoping it will bring healing to a lot of families, and in particular families in church, because all these women that I'm talking about, they're Christians, and I don't even think they realize what the heck's going on. And of course, what they typically have done is blame the men because they torture the, I don't know if torture is the right word, but they verbally and psychologically abuse and manipulate the men of the family until the men get so pissed off and angry, they said, enough is enough. Either you stop this crap or I'm leaving. Or the woman will force them out, because once a man gets mad at these women, then the man is the evil bastard who is the source of all their suffering and pain. When in reality, it's the women doing it to each other and doing it to the men that is the problem. Anyway, just some things to think about, some things that, God wants to bring some healing to people's lives. But he's not, his hands aren't tied. But when it comes to this emotional healing and the psychological healing, a lot of times, almost 99% of the time, you have to be a willing participant. First, you have to acknowledge I've got a problem. This problem is run in 3, 4, 5 generations of my family. I need to be a willing participant. I don't want this to go on. I don't want my son or my daughter or my family to pass this down to their family. So just some things to think about. God loves us and wants to heal us, but we've got to in things like this, we have to actually work with God to bring healing into our life. So anyway, that's all I wanted to share. I'll talk to you guys later.